Hello, I'm Linda Ruas, the course moderator for this Explore Teaching English course, and I'm running it together with Steve Jopp, the project manager, who's in Dakar in Senegal. I'm in London in the UK, and it's great to be working with you all. Um, yeah, let's go through last week's course, last week's tasks, and have a look at next week's tasks in advance. I'm going to be posting 3 short videos, maximum 5 minutes each, with some questions after each that I'd like you to respond to. And this will last about 20 or 30 minutes for today. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, we're at the end of week 1 already. This is a 4-week course. I know some of you joined late. That's no problem. You can carry on with us from where we are now. I'm posting tasks Monday to Thursday every day at 6 p.m. GMT, and the live stream will be at this time, 5 p.m. GMT every Friday. So, this is what I want to do today. Look at the tasks and some examples from the last week. Look at the use of the workbook. Discuss the practical applications, because that's the important part. It's how we use these resources that we find. Look at support and help, and preview the tasks for next week. Hope that's okay. So, the first task on Monday was looking at lesson plans. Can you remember the lesson plan that you found? I hope you've tried it out and see how it works. These are some of my favourite lesson plans. If you haven't seen them already, please look them up. Peacemakers and peace breakers. What an amazing topic for a lesson. And that's for primary to secondary children. Changing ideas of beauty. That's a lesson for adults, level B1. And smoking stinks. Now, why are these my favourite topics, you might ask? By the way, you don't have to stick to the age level, the suggested age level and level of English. You can adapt them and use them with any class. But if you go outside the suggested age and level, you might need to adapt them more. So, why and how? I think these lessons are really great for learners because they are real life issues, things that learners are usually interested in. You can use and revise language and skills in meaningful contexts, and something with meaning is more likely to be memorable and students will relate better to it. And you never know, they might actually help learners in life. For example, to stop smoking or never to start smoking or to value different types of beauty. Isn't that wonderful what effects we can have as English teachers? How is a different question. You might well need to adapt your lessons to suit your own learners. You might need to cut the difficult parts from a text. You might want to do the tasks in a different order, or just do one part of the lesson. There is no need to take it as it stands on the website. The topics and the vocabulary might be challenging for learners, so you might need to pre-teach some words or even translate some parts. So please feel free to adapt these and make them useful to you in your classes. Do you remember Tuesday? That was task 2, find an article. There are so many hundreds of articles. You'll never finish reading them all if you stay up all night for weeks. But this is something you can go back to again and again. 2 that I think are interesting are improving teacher development through use of social media groups. Isn't that great? A nice, cheap, low-cost alternative to meeting. Generative AI. This is the latest thing, isn't it? And the language classroom. The bi-monthly topic for teaching English in August and September is generative AI and ICT. So you can find a lot more about that in teaching English. By the way, if you haven't seen my choice of lesson plans or article, please have a look later. Task 3, this was Wednesday, find a publication. Did you find these two, for example? One of my favourites is Integrating Global Issues in the Creative English Language Classroom. And it's my favourite because I have a chapter that I wrote in it. You can find that later if you want. But these are all about the Sustainable Development Goals, which again are really real life global issues, really important things for our planet. Lots of lesson ideas and plans in there. And another one, a very interesting one, developing a teacher association for language teachers. And this has everything you might need to know about developing a teacher association, from all the stages of setting up and managing the finances, for example. What was task 4 on Thursday? Do you remember? Of course, it was find a podcast. So these are some of my favourite ones. The impact of artificial intelligence on English language teaching, another really new issue we need to come to terms with. Critical thinking. This is, again, one of those 21st century skills and how we can integrate it into English teaching. Really important discussions these are on these podcasts. And how can we play to teach English? That's a lovely one too. If you haven't come across them yet, try listening to some of the Climate Connection 10-part series of podcasts. It's on this link here. I'll share the link later as well. But you know where to find the podcasts. You can look it up yourself as well. It's amazing. It's linking all the issues related to the climate crisis to English teaching with loads of really useful topics and discussions. So that was last week. What was most useful to you? What was the most useful resource that you found from the tasks in Module 1, Tasks 1 to 4? And how can you use these resources to help with your teaching? This is the end of the first short video. Put some of your ideas in the chat so we can share. And I'll be back with you in a few minutes with the second video for this evening.